1967 Mustang 289. I think this is the 225 horse based on the Code A. Just had it painted. The car has a lot of miles on it and needs a lot of attention, and that's why it's here. You get a list there sitting inside of things for me to do on it. That's kind of a pleasure working on older cars. And understand them more. This is the era I grew up with. The car's in pretty good shape though. But we're here to fix a few things, starting with this broken dipstick tube. What I think has happened is the dipstick tube at this part here has broken off. So this part is soft metal. I'm going to use a long tap here, see if I can drill into that metal and pull it out. Well, we both can't fit in here, so I'm just drilling straight into this. Have a pretty good access here, straight down. Lucky to have a long tap here. Yeah. Well, that worked better than I thought. I thought for sure I was going to have to pull and pull on that, but there it is. Good deal. Our next challenge is to figure out which dipstick to use. The blue one is the one that came out of the engine. The chrome one is the new one, and you can see it's different lengths. So he wants an oil change, so what I'll do is put in the recommended amount of oil, 5 quarts in this case, with the new filter, and then we'll put in each of the dipsticks and see which reads correctly, and that will be crisis averted. Yeah, with the engine running, it's not charging at all. So he does have a loose belt, and the adjustment's all the way at the end, so it might be a loose belt, but I'm thinking it's the alternator. This post here is loose, and I cannot for the life of me get this tightened up. It's been spinning so much now, I don't know what is behind there. I can't see in there to see how it's attached to what it's attached to. With the mileage on this alternator, I'm going to suggest a rebuild, and I'll fix this wire here in the meantime. I got this wire fixed, soldered up, and so I'm going to take these off. The new dipstick and the new alternator are installed. Didn't really go into how that goes together because it's pretty easy. It's just 2 bolts on the alternator and wiring on the back that's you did see. And yes, with 5 quarts of oil in the engine, the new dipstick is the correct one. Charging a little, if you can hear that belt squeaking. So we got to change that belt. It's too loose and the adjustment's all the way out. So you can see it now. It's getting better as the belt kind of warms up. So we needed a different belt. Another complaint, ignition switch is loose. This is a retainer that goes behind the dash and should screw down from the bottom of the dash up, and then the ignition switch goes inside here, and it's got a retainer ring on the front. I'll show you here. Anyway, all the components are here, it's just loose. Alright, ignition switch is in place. Well, you can't really see it, can you? So the whole thing was just loose and coming apart. So that's all good now. The ignition's fixed, and since I had to take the ashtray out, I sandblasted the inside so it looks like no one's ever smoked in it. Even polished up the metal a little. The shifters are real loose, and you have to push it forward to get the neutral safety switch to work, so it looks like I'll be in that next. Working to remove the center console so I can get to some heater controls, and found this mess. It's been pretty boogered up. Kind of afraid to touch it. I haven't broken anything yet, but we'll just take it easy. And next thing is get the radio disconnected there so I can get the center console out. I need to get to the shifter. Alright, got the center console out. Found a little buddy here, poor guy. Alright, we have a center console out so I can gain access to the shifter. And you can see it's completely something or other. I don't know if it's just loose. What's going on? This bolt up here is tight. Okay, that bolt there is tight, but when this here is way something wrong, so I gotta get underneath for that. But in the meantime, I'm still on top of the car. The other complaint is heater control does not work. He can't get heat. So what's going on here is there's a plastic piece here that's broken. It's supposed to go to this metal to keep that secure, and this cable is moved by this lever here. Of course, if that's broken, that just doesn't do anything. I'm going to see if I can't find a way to clamp this to that. Otherwise, we got to buy a whole new cable. After sandblasting, and after primer and paint for a part you'll never see. But it is protected from rusting, and it's a good shape, so I want to keep it that way. Here's the bushings I was talking about for the shifter bucket there. Here's the part number from National Parts Depot if you need that. There's two needed, one for the outside and one goes on the inside. They just, easy enough. Put some oil on those two bushings where the shaft goes through. 9/16 nut there. I'll have to look up the torque if there is one, but I got it just snug. And now we have a shifter that works really nice. National Parts Depot is where I got these parts. There's a part number for this boot here. It covers the access hole so you don't get your dirt and grime up there from the road. So that's just a press fit. I'll get that on and then we'll be done with this. I have the shifter reinstalled now and connected down there at the bottom. I got to get the T-hands on top, of course, but it's working very nice now. I just have to lube up this area. This is the bolt from the oil pan, and this was wrapped up in the threads. So I'm concerned we might have a stripped out oil pan. Ran the threads with my tap and then got this wrapped with the, well, what do you call this tape? Oh, good grief, I forget the name of it. Anyway, let's see if that'll hold. It came out real easy, so I'm a little concerned, but maybe this will help me hold it. So went to my local parts store and got this Dorman part. It's a one size over for my 1/2 inch by 20 pitch, thread pitch, I guess they call it. So you find that size, and this cuts its own threads one size over that. So we have, hopefully, this stopped up and completed now. This isn't something the customer asked for, but I was getting in here to clean up the inside of this, and it's in good shape. And then notice this rust here. I think I need to address that before it gets any worse. I bet that's expensive if you want to find original. Since this video is not only for YouTube, but it is documenting what I'm doing on the car, this is the glove box door, obviously. I showed you the back side where it was rusted and there was some deterioration, so I sandblasted both sides. This side is finished, as you can tell, and it's dry, and I wanted to get into the front side. I just hate putting on a piece that isn't correct, and it doesn't take much more time to make it correct. I do consider this gentleman a friend, so this is a little extra. The only problem is it's going to make the rest of the dashboard look kind of faded and old, but I could paint that for him if he wants to at a later date. I don't mind doing that. It won't be that hard. I was messing around in here. I went ahead and painted his door and got it reinstalled, cleaned the inside out and painted the inside as well, so that's done. So I just pulled this out and there is what we need right there. Probably could have looked for that before I pulled it all out, but I really wasn't expecting it to be back there, so that's cool. This goes on this side of the panel, and then the control for the mirror goes through the hole, of course, and is secured on the front side by that piece of trim, so that should be easy fix. Okay, we have the controller installed. Once again, all the parts were there, just needed to put them back in place. Well, you all caught me with my orange shirt on. I look like I'm wearing a life vest. Anyway, decided to stop the video here. It's getting to be a little over 10 minutes long, and I like to try to keep the videos short. I was going to try to do this car in one video, but I have found today, after speaking with my friend at church, that he wants to continue with other projects. So I want to continue. I'm glad he has that in mind, because I'd like to see this car, you know, kind of shine again. get it back into good condition, and I'd love to see it going down the road better than what it came in. So we'll continue the work, and I hope you all come back. I do enjoy getting together with y'all and interaction that we have on YouTube here. I've been doing this for just over 10 years now, and I've enjoyed every minute of it, and hope y'all come back for next video. Now we have choices. I don't know if you're going to be watching the 59 Ford Progress or the 67 Mustang, but regardless, I hope y'all come back. So with that, I'll see you in the next video.